Hi, I'm Liz Harr and I'm a partner at Hinge, and I'm going to be sharing some thoughts with you today on visible experts and why buyers of professional services seek them out. So let's first talk about what a visible expert is in the first place. A visible expert is a professional who has attained high visibility within the marketplace coupled with a reputation for expertise. You really have to have both to fit within our definition of a visible expert. And in the first ever study of its kind, we're releasing the results of our research that uncovered the pathway to success for these visible experts, looking at the tools they use and the benefits that they bring back to their firms. But we also took a look at the buyer perspective. We looked at things like, why do buyers seek visible experts out in the first place? How do they do it, and what are the benefits back to them? So let's focus on why buyers seek out visible experts. Our research uncovered that in general, buyers, no surprise, will have 2 to 3 reasons on average, but they all kind of fell into 4 broad categories. So the first most common reason for seeking out a visible expert is around this notion of needing a critical problem solved. So perhaps a firm doesn't have the internal expertise to tackle that particular problem, or maybe there's a sense of urgency around it and they don't have the resources. But for whatever reason, solving a critical problem is the top reason buyers seek out professional services visible experts. The second most common reason that buyers will seek out a visible expert is more around the notion of building their own brand and bringing in new business. So the idea here is that as a buyer aligns themselves with someone who is highly credible, highly visible, the buyer is able to leverage that reputation and leverage that visibility to then shape their own brand and bring in new business. The third most commonly cited reason for hiring a visible expert was simply around the notion of confidence. So in other words, when a buyer aligns themselves with a visible expert, they gain the confidence and peace of mind that they often are lacking as they're forging the path forward. And the last reason is probably the least commonly cited, but is a very practical one, and that's around the notion of a buyer needing a visible expert to provide testimony at a legal proceeding. So knowing why buyers seek out visible experts as opposed to guessing is really critical information for firms as they make the investment in their own SMEs, turning them into visible experts.